So before you can go and build a portfolio and start to invest in the crypto space, it's really important to understand the difference between cryptocurrencies and crypto tokens. We've touched briefly on what currencies are. Currencies can be used as a medium of exchange, store of value, unit of account. We touched briefly on what a cryptocurrency is, which is money that exists digitally and virtually. They use cryptography to protect the information. And a cryptocurrency is the native asset of a blockchain network that can be traded. And so we've talked about what the native asset of a network and what the currency of that network is. We've talked about those different components. In the intro to Bitcoin video, we described the difference between a network and the currency that's the native asset of that network, because that's the key difference between a cryptocurrency and a crypto token. Cryptocurrencies are the native asset of a blockchain network that can be traded. So, for example, the native asset of the Bitcoin network is the BTC, right? The Bitcoins. The native asset of the Ethereum network is ETH, the Ethers. And so there's a difference between networks and the currency that is a native asset of that network. So, real simply, a token is a unit of value that blockchain developers create on top of an existing blockchain network. So, tokens are built on top of an existing currency network. For example, the Ethereum has ETH as the native currency of that network. Tokens are built on top of the Ethereum platform, and Ethereum is one of the most common platforms that they're building on. So while cryptocurrencies are the main digital asset of that network that was issued by the network, a token is a software, project, transaction layer, anything that's built on top of the currency network in order to perform different functions than the original intended function of the main network. So, for example, Ethereum was built as a cryptocurrency and as a medium of exchange so individuals can use it for transactional value. Developers ended up using the Ethereum blockchain in order to build projects on top to make new technologies such as smart contracts and new technologies called decentralized applications. So, these are pieces of code that are written on top of the main network that allow you to take advantage of the stability of the main network and the value of the main network, but allows you to make technological improvements that don't affect that main network. So projects built on top of the Ethereum platform don't affect the actual Ethereum network. What they do is they branch off and build a new layer, and that layer uses the Ethereum platform to run, power, store information, and provide record keeping and accounting for those transactions. Tokens are also referred to as alternative digital assets because the name currency, crypto, and token, they're all very misleading. For example, things like Bitcoin and Ethereum are considered coins. The reason that coins is decently accurate is because BTC and Ether are actually used as a currency. So a coin is actually pretty accurate to represent a piece of currency that you can use to do transactions as a medium of exchange and as a store of wealth. The word tokens are a bit deceiving because tokens generally are treated as a form of money. So if you go to an arcade and you try to spend tokens, they'll allow you to play games inside of that arcade. So that's closer to what a currency does because you can only use that currency inside of the network, which is the arcade, and you get a specific thing, which is an exchange of value. I give you token, you give me a certain amount of time in the game. What crypto tokens are actually distributed ledger technologies and blockchain solutions to create more efficient and secure ways to do things that we do today. For example, contracts that normally take a third party. So we have to give the contract to a third party. You give your money to the third party. Once the contract's done, the money is released. Things like smart contracts are immediate and they don't require a third party. So I can send you money, and as soon as the contract is fulfilled, then that money is released to you automatically through something called a smart contract. So because these technological advancements go beyond just transactional value and more than just currency, the word token is a little bit of a misnomer. Instead, we can refer to them as alternative digital assets because they're digital assets that exist in the space alternative to Bitcoin. Token holders can use them to make purchases, trade tokens, create smart contracts, or use tokens to represent physical assets. Crypto tokens today are used for a bunch of different reasons. Crypto tokens are most commonly used now as a unit of account and as a way to create smart contracts. As a unit of account, crypto tokens are used to represent physical things such as real estate and utilities. So for example, if there's a certain amount of power usage in an area, what a crypto token can do is denominate that usage into a currency value, and you can trade that power between individuals. The concept is a little bit new, but what it is giving different technological tools to individuals to be able to create financial incentives and to financialize more things in the economy. So let's look at some examples of currencies versus tokens. The most commonly known currencies are BTC, Bitcoin, Ethereum, LTC, which is Litecoin, BNB, that's Binance Coin, XRP, which is the Ripple coin, ADA, that's Cardano's, Dogecoin. Those are currencies. Each one of these has an individual network that they've built, and they issued a coin that was specific to that network. So the Bitcoin network issued BTC, the Ethereum network issued ETH, the Litecoin network issued LTC, the Binance network issued BNB, Ripple Labs issued XRP, the Cardano Foundation issued ADA, and then I'm not sure who the Doge developers were, but they issued Doge. Tokens, on the other hand, are something that are built off of a blockchain, and they're built on top of one of these existing networks, and they're stuck to it. Uniswap, Chainlink, and DAI being some of the most prominent advancements that were made on top of the Ethereum network. So these were not issued directly from any of these blockchain networks. Instead, they were built by independent developers on top of these networks to act as a second layer to do completely different things than what the main network was meant to do. But there's a whole nother sector of cryptocurrencies referred to as stablecoins. These are neither currencies nor tokens, but actually somewhere in the middle. Stablecoins are cryptocurrencies for the sole purpose of providing reliable value storage. Stablecoins represent kind of a hybrid between tokens and cryptos because they're built on an existing blockchain, but they can be exchanged for fiat currencies. So you don't only have to use them on that blockchain, you can also exchange them for fiat currencies, which are things like the US dollar, the Canadian dollar, the Japanese yen. So what providing reliable value storage means is individuals who are trading in the crypto market, when they want to park their money on the sidelines, if they had put it into BTC, then they're going to have to feel a lot of that volatility. And what volatility is sometimes the markets go up, sometimes the markets go down, and it's not a good way to keep your money safe and stable because the value changes so much. Stablecoins were built to represent the value of a currency. So for example, something like Tether or USDC, which is US dollar coin, are linked to the dollar. So ideally, one USDC coin will always equal $1. If you want to keep your money in this crypto space, you don't necessarily want to go back to fiat currencies, but you don't want to put it in a risky asset that's going to continue to change value so often. What you can do is you can use a stable coin to either park your money on the side or as a bridge to be able to buy cryptocurrencies in an easier and cheaper way. Stablecoins were first invented to help individuals buy Bitcoins because it became difficult to use their fiat currency to transact for Bitcoins. So instead, what you could do is you could buy these stablecoins, put them on an exchange, and then use those stablecoins in order to buy cryptocurrencies. This created a sort of on-ramp to the crypto space from traditional money systems because they allowed less risk while you were being involved, and they provided a way for you to get your money in and out of that system efficiently and in a low-cost way. The most famous stablecoins known today are Tether, which are issued by the Tether Limited Corporation, and USDC, which is a newer competitor to Tether. The Tether Corporation had a lot of issues back in the day, even though they are the largest stablecoin today. They had a lot of issues surrounding their legitimacy. So USDC is a more decentralized way to do stablecoins, and it's gotten a lot more popularity. So let's recap what we talked about today. There are two main digital assets that exist in the crypto space today. There are currencies, often referred to as coins, and then there are crypto tokens, which are now being more commonly referred to as alternative digital assets. A cryptocurrency is the digital native currency of a blockchain network. A token is a unit of value that blockchain developers create on top of an existing blockchain network. Cryptocurrencies are mostly used to make payments using that digital currency. Token holders can use those tokens in order to make purchases, trade the tokens, create smart contracts, and use those tokens to represent physical assets. We talked about some of the main players in the coins versus token space. Biggest currencies, the biggest coins are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Cardano, Ripple, Binance Coin, and Doge. The most prominent tokens today, Uniswap, Chainlink, DAI. Last but not least, we talked about stablecoins and their prominence in this industry and what they were meant to do. Stablecoins act as a bridge and as a reliable value storage for people who don't want to take the full risk of being invested in cryptos. Stablecoins provided a way for individuals to move their money from the traditional monetary system to the cryptocurrency system in an easy and reliable way. So it's important to understand the difference between cryptocurrencies and tokens. When you go to invest in something, you have to understand which one of these it actually is. Is it the main network that everything needs to run, or is it one of these projects that's being run on top of that network? They're not all created equal. Some projects, some tokens that are created on top of a blockchain are extremely successful. And some of these traditional currencies that got built never really found any traction and weren't as successful. So the quality depends on the developers of these technologies and what those technologies do. Currencies have an inherent value. So tokens drive their value from the technology that they've built, and cryptocurrencies value just have an inherent value based on what the market believes it's worth. If everyone in the market believes that Bitcoin should be worth more, it'll become worth more. So that's a brief introduction to cryptocurrencies versus tokens. It's important to understand while you're investing in this space the difference between currencies, aka coins, and tokens. And it's important to stay focused in understanding that the developments that happen in the future are going to be one of these two things. Someone's either going to develop a new coin, a new currency to try to overtake these existing ones, or someone's going to come out with a token which is built on one of these existing platforms and is not a threat to the platform, but instead adds value to that network. So tokens actually add value to the network that they're being built on, which is why they're a great addition to the space. In the future, if you guys see these two terms, currencies, aka coins, or tokens, now you understand the difference and you can make a more informed decision.